Tom baked some cupcakes. If he gave each of his friends 5 cupcakes, he would have 25 cupcakes left. If he gave each of his friends 9 cupcakes, he would need to bake another 35 more cupcakes. How many cupcakes did Tom bake? This is what we call an excess or shortage question, based on the 2 if statements. You will see there are 2 different scenarios given, and they will ask you to find the number of items that the person have at first. So, what do we know? We know that there is actually a fixed number of cupcakes Tom had baked. And he also have a fixed number of friends. I am going to call the number of friends as letter F. And the next part, we are going to guess the number of cupcakes baked by Tom. Okay, so let's take a look at the 2 scenario. The first one. If he gave each of his friends 5 cupcakes, so 5 cupcakes times the number of friends, he would have 25 cupcakes left. So after distributing, he still have 25 left. That's my first scenario. Second scenario. If he gave each of his friends 9 cupcakes, so 9 times the number of friends, he would need to bake another 35 more cupcakes. Now, I'm going to subtract 35. Why? Because originally, that 35, he did not have them. He has to bake the extra to be able to give 9 instead of 5. This part you have to understand why you have to subtract instead of add. Pause and think about it. So based on this 2 scenario, we have to guess the number of friends. And remember, the number of cupcakes that he had baked is fixed, and the number of friends is also fixed. So we should get the same number for the number of cupcakes. Let's do it slowly. So let's guess he has 5 friends. So 5 times 5 friends, plus 25 gives me 50 cupcakes. This is the number of cupcakes. So for the second scenario, we should also try to get 50, because that's the number of cupcakes that Tom had baked. And let's see, do we get 50? 9 times 5 friends minus 35. And let's see, what do we have? We have 10. So let's take a look at this. For the first scenario, we have 50 cupcakes that Tom had baked. For the second scenario, we had only 10 cupcakes. So that's not the answer, because there is a fixed number of cupcakes at first that Tom had baked. So this definitely is not our answer. So the number of friends, which is 5, is definitely wrong. So we're going to try with another number. Let's try with 10. Let's imagine that Tom had 10 friends. So it'll be 10, 5 times 10 friends plus 25. The second scenario, 9 times 10 friends minus 35. So let's work out the sums. We get 75 for the first one, and we get 55 for the second one. So let's do a comparison. Based on the 2 scenario, the first scenario, there are 75 cupcakes that Tom had baked at first. For the second scenario, we have 55 cupcakes that Tom had baked. Remember, there is a fixed number of cupcakes, so it should be the same, but it's not. So the number of 10 friends is wrong. So let's move on to the next guess. Let's guess 15. So 5 times 15 plus 25. The second scenario, 9 times 15 minus 35. And let's work out the sums. We have 100 for the first one, the second one also 100. So let's compare. The 100 equates to the number of cupcakes that Tom had baked. Same goes to the second statement. So we know our answer is correct. And the number of friends that Tom gave the cupcakes to is 15. And as for cupcakes, since we have guessed correctly, for both scenarios, there are 100 and 100. So the number of cupcakes that Tom baked is 100. And let's try with the second method. Let me draw a little human being. And this is the friend that Tom had. So there are two different scenarios. The first scenario is each of them received 5 cupcakes. The second scenario, each of them received 9 cupcakes. So obviously, the first scenario, Tom would have extra cupcakes, which is 25. The second one, Tom would need 35 more. I hope this is clear for you to see. And now, let's compare the difference. In the second scenario, since Tom have to give 4 more cupcakes to each of his friends, he will need 35 more. Correct? And where did that 4 more that he gives to each of his friends come from? It comes from the 25 extra and the 35 more that he has to bake. Now let me repeat again. Since Tom had to give each of his friends that 4 more cupcakes. Okay, how did I get a 4? 9 minus 5 equals to 4. So each of them received 4 more. Correct? And where did that 4 more cupcakes come from? It comes from the extra plus the 35 more cupcakes that he had to bake, which is 60. And that 60 cupcakes is now distributed. So we're going to divide 60 divided by 4 is equals to 15. So with that, I take the total difference divided by the individual difference. I actually get the number of friends, which is 15. And using that 15, I will now substitute it inside the scenario, which is, because this is number of friends, so 5 times 15 friends, and he had 25 cupcakes left, so plus 25. I get 100. And now let's try this number of 15 in the second scenario. I should get the equal number of cupcakes. Let's see if it works. So 9 times 15 friends. And remember, he did not have the 35 cupcakes at first. So minus 35 instead of add. I will also get 100. So which means that the 15 number of friends that I've gotten is correct. And now to answer the question, how many cupcakes did Tom bake? It would be 100.